Purport. A woman whose husband is away from home and has taken the renounced order of life should not be very sorry, because she still has the presence of her husband's representative, her son. It is said in the Vedic scriptures, Atmaiva Putro Jayate. The husband's body is represented by the son. Strictly speaking, a woman is never widowed if she has a grown son. Devahuti was not very much affected while Kapila Muni was there. But upon his departure, she was very afflicted. She grieved not because of her worldly relationship with Kardama Muni, but because of her sincere love for the personality of Godhead. The example given here is that Devahuti became just like a cow who has lost her calf. A cow bereft of her calf cries day and night. Similarly, Devahuti was aggrieved, and she always cried and requested her friends and relatives, "Please bring my son home so that I may live. Otherwise I shall die." This intense affection for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although manifested as affection for one's son, is spiritually beneficial. Attachment for a material son obliges one to remain in material existence. But the same attachment, when transferred to the Supreme Lord, brings one elevation to the spiritual world in association of the Lord. Every woman can qualify herself as much as Devahuti, and then can also have the Supreme Godhead as her son. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead can appear as the son of Devahuti, she can also appear as the son of any other woman, provided that woman is qualified. If one gets the Supreme Lord as a son, one can have the benefit of bringing up a nice son in this world, and at the same time get promotion to the spiritual world to become the face-to-face associate of the Personality of Godhead. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So Mother Devahuti, in spite of knowing the truths of life and death, in spite of knowing the effect of time on all the forms of this material world, including her form, consequent to which she was detached from everything that was material. Material forms, temporary forms, transient forms, she was detached from all that. Yet and Prabhupada, and the verse says that she was already pure. Her heart was cleansed of all dirt. Dirt means ignorance. So she was cleansed of all ignorance about life. That means she was cleansed of the ignorance that I am this body and people are their individual bodies. She was cleansed of all that ignorance. And yet she was grieving for her son. Yet she cried and requested her friends and relatives, "Please bring my son home so that I may live, otherwise I shall die." So that was the intensity of her separation from that personality of Kapila, from whom she heard transcendental knowledge. This is the kind of attachment that is required for a disciple to have with the spiritual master. The spiritual master has So many manifestations. All those means manifestations that are accessible to our senses. His physical form, Vapu, his sound, his books, his lectures, everything. There are many manifestations still there, even after he leaves this body. Many material manifestations, not material, manifestations into this material world, accessible to our material senses, are still there. And that should be valued so much. Even though Mother Devahuti heard and remembered all the instructions of Kapila Muni, but still she missed his physical presence as her son, which also has its unique rasa, has its unique relationship. One may be very closely associated with one aspect, let us say the Vani, the instruction, just like Mother Devahuti. But she doesn't feel that complete. She wants all aspects of her son that she was there. That is the nature of the transcendental personality. So this is the principle of transcendental separation that the devotee feels from the spiritual master, from Krishna. And according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this transcendental feeling of separation, that means feeling the absence to before our senses. We all have absolute senses also. So presence before the senses is absolutely significant also. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked about chanting in separation, knowing very well the holy name is non-different from Krishna. Yet, one who realizes that the holy name is non-different from Krishna feels intense separation from Krishna. Why? Because he wants to. Krishna means see, touch, talk, everything, not one aspect. Not only Nama. He knows that in Nama, everything is there. But then he wants that everything for the full experience. So when he wants and he doesn't get, that is called separation. So this is a beautiful illustration of how we can become spiritually attached to anything, any manifestation. For instance, if you are attached to books of Prabhupada, you should become attached. If you can't get a book in that particular form, in the book, then you feel separation. If you feel separation from book of Prabhupada, if you feel separation, let's say you hear Prabhupada's lecture every day, and then you miss out that particular form, you don't have that, then there is a positive attachment developed, which is great treasure. Lord is manifested in particular forms, in unlimited forms. So the devotee wants association of the Lord in all those forms. And if any of those forms, when he gets attached, when he misses the presence of those forms, whether in the form of Vani or books or anything, then he feels the separation from them. So separation is, one cannot feel separation unless one feels attached first. The first step is to feel attached. That means we need to know, we need to get attached. Just like the Lord appeared before Narada Rishi, and then he experienced the transcendental bliss of having darshan of the Lord. And because he got so attached that rest of his life he could be in separation. To be in separation of the Lord is a great gift, because separation means constant remembrance. Separation means constant remembrance of the Lord. Oh, I'm missing. This constant remembrance. So it's a gift. And this kind of spiritual attachment, even when one is in this body, is very much possible, is what is demonstrated here. Not that one has to give up one's body in order to become spiritually attached to Krishna. You get attached to the deities. You get attached to doing your 16 rounds. If you don't do, you miss doing it. You miss those activities. You are attached to being in the association of devotees. And when you miss that, then you feel that separation. There's a significant lesson in this episode of Devahuti and Kapila in Srimad Bhagavatam. A significant message of transcendental existence, of form, name, attachment, feelings, etc. Normally, one simply understands most of the literatures, whether it is Upanishads or most of the Vedic literatures. They talk about Jiva being Brahman, separated from matter, the spirit separated from matter. And since Brahman is also free from material feelings, name, fame, feelings, relationship, love, everything is, if we have to experience Brahman, all these mundane, transient relationships, love, power, sense gratification, everything has. First of all, you are not a person, so where is senses? So no senses and no sense gratification. Brahman is not this material person, doesn't mean that he is not a person. So here is a message that Devahuti, who is stated to be free from all dirt, that means free from all ignorance, that means her attachment is glorified here. So beyond Brahman, beyond realizing that I am not matter, I am spirit, but what is the nature of that spirit? Jivera Swarupa. What is Swarupa? Krishna Nityadasa. And then we see here that Mother Devahuti in relationship with the Supreme Lord as her son, is extending, continuing, remembering her Vatsalya relationship with Lord Kapila. And Prabhupada says, if one gets the Supreme Lord as a son, one can have benefit of bringing up a nice son in this world. It is not uncommon for the Lord to reciprocate with devotees in unlimited forms. As Prabhupada says here, if the Supreme Personality of God can appear as a son of Devahuti, he can also appear as a son of any other woman. So an opportunity is given for living entities in the human form of life to relate with different manifestation of the Lord in this material world. And we should take advantage of all those different forms, like the presence of the spiritual master and the absence of the spiritual master. Also, you should take advantage by developing attachment and feeling his physical absence. So he is not in our midst. It is not that, okay, Vani is enough. Yes, Vani is more important. So somehow that separation from Vapu, we try to compensate by having the deity, having the deity worshipping the deity, Vapu. And then when you are worshipping the Vapu, it is not that you feel complete. You feel separation. Okay, Vapu is okay, deity is deity. But when Prabhupada walked, it's walked. So that is another manifestation. You go very sharply, you go into it, that there is a difference between Prabhupada walking and the Prabhupada deity, that way. In essence, there is no difference. But in terms of rasa, there is a difference. Oh, Prabhupada is available to us in the form of deity now, but Prabhupada was available to us to talk and walk and everything in some time. That is another manifestation. So that is how, even when we become attached to the deities, then it's a very specific form of rasa. But that doesn't satisfy the devotee. I want to go back to Godhead. I want to walk with the Lord, talk with the Lord, as it is said, become face-to-face associate of the Lord. Every aspect of the Lord is so wonderful, so tasteful, so blissful that if some aspect he gets, any one aspect he gets, he is Krishna conscious. But he is not satisfied by just being somehow Krishna conscious by just touching the name or touching the form or everything. He wants all aspect, full realization of Krishna before his eyes, before his spiritual eyes, before his spiritual ears, before his spiritual body. So this principle of separation is always there. It is not that I am completely separated from the Lord. You have the holy name of the Lord, still you feel separation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Krishna is not different from his name. So why you are feeling separation? A pure devotee, if he is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he shouldn't feel separation. Krishna is not different from his holy name. He has full realization, he is not different. But still he will feel separation. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. Or even if you chant offenselessly the holy name of the Lord, you feel intense separation from the Lord because you want the total manifestation of the Lord. For all your, for seeing, for talking, for this thing, everything. That is a complete, the Lord is unlimited, so his aspects, the devotee is always wanting every aspect of the Lord, to experience every aspect of the Lord. He wants all the mercy like that. When you taste the name, you want to taste the form. It doesn't end there. The taste of the name is different, taste of the form is different. the transcendental varieties. So it is just like, these separations are not absence of something material. These separations are absence of the particular kinds of reciprocation from the Lord. In the same way, if one treats the Supreme Lord as one's friend in the heart, Paramatma, which he declares, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, the Supreme Lord, as the Paramatma, is a friend in the heart. As that relationship of friendship increases through so many reciprocations, and one feels that yes, the Lord is there in my heart as my friend. The more you realize that, then you want to say that, okay, my friend, I know he's there, where are you? I want to see you. Next level, like that. Every aspect of the Lord, as we associate, if the association is very effective, one will feel separation from every other aspects of the Lord. Largely, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught the rasa of separation. One cannot take Krishna as easily available unless he gives himself. There is another class, that Sahajas, they imagine that Krishna has come to them, blah, 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 so many things. So the real devotee, no, he feels separation, and unless Krishna himself decides and comes, no imagination. So this is a great science. Just like we had one life member. He has one deity of Krishna, he'll keep him on his bed. Then when he goes bath, he'll take him, he will take bath also. He'll give bath also. So like that, practically everything, he'll take Krishna with him, like that. I was at loss what to say to him and all those things. For many, many years he's doing like that. Because he does not have a guru. So he is thinking that Krishna is with him. But thinking is not enough. God is not an imagination. He should decide to be by your bedside. He should decide to go to bathroom with you. So it's all concoction. So bona fide thing is separation from the Lord. That is a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu principle of rasa of separation protects one from taking Krishna cheaply and imagining rasas. Rasa is not to be imagined. Rasa is also a truth, an absolute truth. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. After I came to know that intense separation comes from intense attachment. So is it that those of them who are with the Lord, who are in close association with the Lord, they may not be feeling intense separation? So is it better to feel intense separation than being a close associate of the Lord?
It's not better. Both are two types of this thing. Just like gopis also feel separation, intense separation. If you read Lord Chaitanya's teachings, you will see meeting and separation. When the gopis and Krishna meet, that is a one rasa. And the meeting is over and they have to separate. Then till they meet next time, they are in intense separation. So it's not that in the spiritual world there is no separation. The spiritual world also, if I'm in spirit, Krishna is not before me, I'm in separation. So there is meeting and there is separation in the spiritual world also. Here separation is more realistic because Krishna is not going to appear like this as easily as in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is only thing is to appear and disappear. Meeting, union and separation. Union and separation. The devotees, the gopis were in intense separation when Krishna left, after Krishna left Vrindavan, till they give up their body. Till they gave up their body, they were in intense separation from Krishna. And technically speaking, tattva-wise, Krishna never left Vrindavan. That means Krishna was present there, but he will not manifest. He will not manifest to give them that intense separation. That is the meaning of Prabhupada, the scriptures saying that Krishna does not step out of Vrindavan. That is another form of Krishna. The gopis, they experience Krishna in another form by his remembrance, because his remembrance is also him. Anything? Any other question?
So I have one more. Like if there is intense separation, like I can feel intense separation only if I would have had the experience of being with Krishna. So currently I have no experience. So how do I develop that intense separation?
Yeah. So you have, everything goes step by step. You read about Krishna from Prabhupada. You read how wonderful he is, etc. Then you chant Hare Krishna. Then having heard about, by the mercy of Guru, some attraction is there by hearing about Krishna. And then there is, you want, by chanting Hare Krishna, you want to realize him. So the separation comes. So separation can come by hearing. Hearing means not knowledge. Hearing means through hearing that attachment by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. When you hear Krishna Katha, when you hear from Prabhupada, when you read from Prabhupada, Krishna's Leelas, an attraction is planted in our heart. Unless attraction is there, separation doesn't come. Then you work towards that attraction. How will I meet what I am attracted to? Meet in different forms. How will I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? How will I chant his name? So that I can at least the name of the Lord. Here it is described that he is Nama Avatara, he is there. So from hearing you get attraction. From that attraction you get little separation. Like that it goes on. Then you hear more and more, you get more and more attracted. Then you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with greater separation. But all these things it's a science that is given in the Nectar of Devotion. It's a science of Bhakti Yoga, as Prabhupada explains. It's a science. There's no shortcut. There's no just unauthorized sentiments cannot bring all these things. Like yesterday we were discussing, any sentiment does not, you have to regulated sentiment. During Vaidhi Bhakti. So you need Guru, you need guidance, otherwise you can go off track. The fake can be thought of as real. Fake sentiments can be thought of as real bhakti. These are the significant contributions of Srila Prabhupada to this world. Nobody can, anyone who understands Prabhupada's purpose, then they don't fall for this fake sentiments, fake bhakti, which is so much common in this country.
Prabhu, few years before, I met one person. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Few years before, I met one person in our temple.
Few years before?
I met one person. He has come from Delhi. He was having a DT, like a small Laddu Gopal DT has brought. And what he told me was, he brought in a briefcase. And he brought in a briefcase. And wherever he goes, he takes Krishna along with them. That briefcase he takes. And he feeds in between, and whatever he takes, he feeds at DT. So my question is whether Krishna accepts whatever service is doing.
See, Krishna has unlimited manifestations. So if he has a bona fide guru, and if he is carrying the deities, and as the guru if the guru is in proper parampara, properly, who has taught him how to properly respect the deity, and then the Lord Lord is there in our heart as Paramatma, in everybody's heart. So as a Paramatma, he will reciprocate also. It's not that he won't reciprocate. He can reciprocate. If he's offering everything to that Krishna, then he will accept it. It all depends on, how the person is guided and who is guiding him and all those things. So many times, it will be mixed, just like even our bhakti, even though we are guided by Prabhupada, our bhakti is also mixed with so many mistakes, isn't it? So in the same way, something you cannot say no to, you cannot say there's no meaning in all those things. Even if somebody is imitating, the example I told about that person, imitation of a good thing is better than, nothing. At least he was always keeping on a deity. He was thinking that Krishna is on his bed. He was thinking that all those things. They're definitely better than a person who's a materialist. Now we are talking from the standard of pure bhakti. Really how to get Krishna, how to really get Krishna bhakti. Therefore we say that's not right. We don't say that, but it's good. We cannot make offense to whatever degree of his bhakti that he has got. We cannot make any. We should recognize some past he does not have a guru to guide him. Maybe next life he'll get a guru who will guide him how to worship the deity properly. If he didn't have some attraction for Krishna, why he would do all that? Isn't it? Why he'll take Krishna everywhere with him and all those kind of things.
Many times we come across some donors, they bring deities, they purchase some marble deity of Krishna, they place in their altar and they start worshipping. So is it okay, Prabhu?
What is it? Often?
They bring some deity from somewhere, they'll purchase and bring, and they place in their altar.
Whose altar?
In their home, some
home altar,
puja room, and they start worshipping that without any mantras or without invoking like that. So is Krishna is accepting their worship and all?
Krishna, nobody can stop Krishna from accepting from anybody if he decides. He is not bound by any rules. If somebody is just coming into Krishna consciousness, he purchases a deity and he worships, he can have wonderful reciprocation. The Lord will decide. Lord as Paramatma is there. As Paramatma, he will reciprocate to attract him to Krishna consciousness. The deities can do miracles also, even for a neophyte. Even for a neophyte. Huh?
Without the guidance of Guru, they
No
are,
need. He has not yet come to Guru. Krishna brings one to Guru and Guru takes one to Krishna. So till one comes to Guru, Paramatma is always available for reciprocation. Paramatma form of the Lord is always ready to reciprocate with devotees. Without Guru also, somebody prays to Krishna. Krishna will answer their prayers. Can you say no, he does not have a Guru, why Krishna should answer his prayers? The Paramatma form of the Lord will answer his prayers. There are thousands and thousands of millions and millions of devotees of Krishna in India who are not initiated, who do not have a Guru. Is all their bhakti of no use? No. It is Paramatma bhakti. Paramatma will reciprocate.
Hare Krishna. Regarding this discipline is succession, that we are into Prabhupada, we are as a Prabhupada disciples, we have a philosophy of Achinta Beda Beda. Now, there are different other authorized paramparas wherein we have Dvaita, Visishta Dvaita, all this. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us that this is the supreme understanding of the philosophy. Now, with respect to other authorized paramparas, where do they will be reaching? If Dvaita or Visishtadvaita, Madhvacharyas, Ramanujacharya, where do they will be reaching?
They will reach where the parampara, their parampara is telling that they will take them to. If you're a Sri Vaishnava, you go to Vaikuntha. It is not that, it is, in fact, Shuddha Dvaita, Dvaita, all this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu integrated doesn't mean that he said they were wrong. He gave a comprehensive understanding of each. How to understand the Dvaita of the order of Dvaita. How to understand the Vishishta Advaita as it should be understood. So actually, in one sense, if you understand properly those Siddhantas, those Vaishnava Siddhanta, is Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. It's not that he said they are wrong. All Vaishnava Sampradayas are right. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu integrated. That's why we don't have anything in. It's not that there is something very seriously wrong in that. You should not associate and should not take that philosophy. Unlike Mayavada. Mayavada, yes, is separate. It is a theory of illusion. It's not nothing connected. It's not a Vaishnava Sampradaya. All Vaishnava Sampradayas have to be respected. And all of them will take you to different rasas.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, my question is regarding, if the deity is present, will the pure devotee still feel separation? Because if the deity is present in the temple, the pure devotee will he still feel the separation because the deity can talk also, deity can walk also, as we know from Sakshi Gopal story. So then, if the deity is present, then it is as good as the full manifestation of the Lord. So why is there a need for feeling separation in that case?
Yeah, you'll feel separation because deity is not the only aspect of the Lord. You'll feel separation from the Lord in the spiritual world, a pure devotee. He'll feel separation from the Lord's Leela. Because deity means deity is limited himself to that much. Yes, as an exemption in the deity, he will once in a while he may walk, but every day he is not going to walk. Sakshi Gopal Leela, once in a while he walk, but the deity means normally is not meant for walking. Deity means I will not move a bit. If I make you stand, can you stand without moving a bit? You cannot. Only God can do that in the form of the deity. You will not move a bit. Yet he is a full person. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाए, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाए.